Gun-related injuries are on the rise with an alarming number of children and teenage victims.
And I sat down with kids who have experienced this type of violence firsthand and with community leaders stepping in to help make a change.
We begin with breaking news. Week, teenaged boy gunned down. 17-year-old boy killed
After week.
Both were 17.
13-year-old shot in the back of the head.
Reports of children and teenagers shot in South Florida. Some sadly dying from their injuries, others lucky to be alive.
Traumatized, something I never went through.
Anthony Aguirre was only 13 years old when he came face to face with the barrel of a gun.
I just saw the Glock 22.
Anthony was grazed in the leg. He was losing blood and was rushed to Nicholas Children's Hospital. He admits he was hanging with the wrong crowd.
I used to sell, so it was like, when you do some stuff like that, people are gonna try to hurt you.
He says the shooting was a defining moment.
I elevated from that and I became greater, and I never looked back after that.
Sadly, this wouldn't be Anthony's last time dealing with gun violence.
I heard the gunshots from outside and I knew something happened.
His best friend was only 15 years old when he was shot in Homestead a year and a half ago. He would not survive. 2 teens were arrested in his murder.
I miss him every day.
They aren't old enough to vote, drive a car, or even order a drink, yet they have seen a lifetime of heartache. 13-year-old Jeremiah Manley almost lost his mother.
I lost some friends, some cousins, some uncles. I almost lost my mom to gun violence too.
From children losing loved ones to parents grieving the loss of their own child, Sabrina Fulton knows the pain all too well.
I've lost family members before, but to lose a child is a more severe and difficult pain to try to heal from.
Her son Trayvon Martin was shot 12 years ago while he was visiting his dad in Sanford.
My heart bleeds for other kids.
So when a child is brought in from a gunshot wound, they're wheeled into the emergency room here.
Right.
And then what do? We get them to a room?
We get them into a room. And
Dr. Julia Valenzuela is a trauma surgeon at Ryder Trauma Center. Every moment counts when a minor is brought in with a gunshot wound.
I've got 10 minutes to make a decision. Where do I need to go? To the operating room? To ICU?
She's treated countless children and teens with gunshot wounds and says Ryder Trauma Center has seen an uptick.
Just like the rest of the nation, as we are seeing a trend in an increased rise in violent injuries from guns. Several times a week, if you pay attention closely.
In 2022, 116 children came into the trauma center with gunshot injuries. In 2023, from January to November, 97 children.
The demographics typically involves young teens, and it tends to be African-American men.
According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, gun-related injuries are the leading cause of death for kids and teens, surpassing car crashes and illnesses.
It's heartbreaking, and secondly, on some level, it's infuriating because it's preventable.
You called it a crisis.
It is a crisis. Our children are dying from gun violence, and they should not be.
So what's the solution?
Those of us who have lived experience are becoming a part of the solution.
Enter the Circle of Brotherhood, an organization of primarily Black men dedicated to crime prevention, community service, and youth mentorship. Executive member Albert Campbell says he uses his own story to change lives.
And I prayed an earnest prayer to God, and I asked him if you would spare my life and release me from prison, that I would come back out into a community that I helped to destroy and do everything within my might and my power to help right some wrongs that I did in this community.
Campbell has held up his promise. Since 2016, his message has reached hundreds of children.
We are trained to go in some of the worst places and reach some of the worst people and change some of their lives. And I live for that.
Anthony also using the most traumatic moment of his life to help other kids.
This is the whole reason why I like helping kids, because I see myself in them.
Sinella Sabovic, Local 10 News. Since 2012, the Circle of Brotherhood has engaged thousands, and even the White House is taking notice. The organization is one of 6 that received $2 million from the Biden administration. The executive director says that the work isn't done, and the money will continue to help fight the good fight.